The boys are back in town. Here they are, a top bunch of chess grandmaster lads playing at the St. Louis Chess Club in the Grand Chess Tour Rapid and Blitz, and they scrub up alright. I mean, sure, Nodabek could have tucked his shirt in. Jan missed the memo when they told him dress to impress. Hikaru misheard when they said tall ones at the back. Fabi decided to swap shoes with Alireza, and up front we got Pragnananda. Trousers riding up. He thinks there's high waters coming in, but overall looking decent. For some reason Levon Aronian's missing. He must be behind the camera taking the snap. They all forgot the selfie stick. But on to more important things here, the chess. Because Alireza Firouzja brings some powerful action on the board here. In round 4, it's over the board, rapid play, 25 minutes each, plus they get 10 seconds per move. I'll bring you the full results table at the end of this game. What does Alireza do to kick off? E4, best by test, and Hikaru doesn't often do this. He plays E6, Le Français défoncé. He yells on guard in his best French accent. Arbiter asks for hush, and Alireza takes the centre. Hikaru challenges with D5 for the high 5, and Alireza responds with one of the most aggressive moves, pawn to E5, called the advanced variation. Still haven't worked out why. Hikaru challenges the centre with the C pawn, and how about this? For an overpowered response, Alireza pushes his own, sets up a prawn sword. 4 in a row, beautiful stuff. Both knights develop into the game here, and queen b6. Who needs to get your kingside bits out when you've got a leading lady like that? The centre under fire, the queen side too, and Alireza just plays a tiny little pawn move. What's his point? Well, after Hikaru plays the very strange looking knight to h6, sidelining it, offering white to shatter the structure but to pick up the bishops, not played, Alireza now starts to take over the opening. He starts with bishop d3. He knows this knight wants to head here one day. Now we see takes on d4. Hikaru does it with a gobble gobble. Often grandmasters do that when they eat enemy pawns. And now, do we get a recapture? No. Castles is played, gambiting the pawn fully. If you capture on c3 here, well, the knight recaptures, and what's the point for white? Well, you just get huge counterplay. The pieces flooding into the game. Different thing. So we didn't see it played. That wasn't what Hikaru went for. He wants initiative. He starts with bishop d7, and Alireza, before Hikaru can do anything else, pushes p over on the queen side. Again offering the pawn. Again it's declined. Hikaru says no thank you, Alireza, my tummy is full, hits the open file or half open file at the moment, and now the engine wants to play slowly here. The Silicon Overlord likes h3 or what, rook a2, bishop b2, but Alireza goes full blooded with pawn b5, hits that knight, but he is giving up squares. A5 for example, far and away the top move of stock shrimp, but not played. For some reason Hikaru didn't want to head for c4. He goes back with the knight here. Dad ashamed, what are my kids still doing at home? I thought you lot had cleared off. And now Alireza can take on d4, and it sets a kind of mini trap. Hikaru actually goes wrong here, because this knight on e7 should come round to g6. The other one on the rim, which is dim and a terrible loser, should head for f5, but it isn't played. Hikaru goes with this knight, but there's a problem. Alireza finds the brilliant response here, ignoring the centre of the board, playing on the queen side by pushing the juicer, supported by the cannon, and after takes, what's Alireza's point? Well, this is beautiful. What does he do? He leans in, pushes the pawn forward, and whispers to Hikaru, Zwischenzug, Hikaru. Hikaru covered in goosebumps at this point. He nods in appreciation of the etiquette which Alireza is showing, and after he moves the queen into c5, Alireza now hits it with the bishop, and this is the awesome thing. You just cannot stay with this knight here because of the white pieces flooding into the attack, and if you retreat the queen to c7, then c takes on d4, and you set up a nice central structure. So that's why Hikaru kamikazes the knight here, Going to f3 was better though, because after queen recaptures here, it's already covering the e-pawn. Hikaru retreats, but that pawn's covered. And now how many of us are taking on f8? Not a bad move, but not the best. Because after Alireza plays this exceptional move of bishop to b2, showing an incredible understanding of the position, Hikaru's got some problems. Because after bishop e7, knight d2 can now be played, the pawn is covered, and after castles, Alireza explodes the position with c4, the bishop springing to life, and more importantly, the centre's under fire, the c-file's opening. Hikaru gobbles the c-pawn, it's delicious. We now see bishop recaptures, covering b5, freeing the knight to come to f5 though, should have been played immediately, but Hikaru centralises his second cannon, Alireza does the same, eyeballing the black queen there, but this one now retreats, keeping it PG, and now the best move here, according to Stock Barnacle, is pawn to g4, covering this square. But who's finding that? Exposing the king, lifting the kill, it's uncomfortable. So Alireza, he goes with the second best, feeling like Anne Hathaway, Shakespeare's wife, not the actress, and now we see knight f5 in response. It finally re-enters the game here, but for how long? Because bishop d3 is played, and again Hikaru just goes wrong, not on his best form. g6, the top engine move. We're gonna see why. Because after bishop f8, no longer controlling this diagonal, look at Stock Squid have an absolute hernia. There's a great tactical line here, starting with taking the rook, and then the follow-up of pawn to g4. And now because the bishop left e7, there's no knight to h4 over this way. If you drop back here, well, this is absolutely miserable. You just cement the pawn. And if you go this way, these are the coolest lines. You can smash through to the king. And after captures, this noble steed hops in. And if you step backwards, there's this slow motion attack of queen f3 to h3 to h7. Amazing how unstoppable it is, especially with this bishop and pawn combining. And if you step forward, then there's this really awesome king hunt. This is how the line goes, different ways to execute it, but the rough theme is that the king gets hunted, flushed out. So we come back here. This is why the bishop did not belong here. g4 catastrophic after the rooks are swapped, but all of it missed. Alireza goes h4, gets given the big miss there. Hikaru goes bishop e8 in response, having a big back rank party, and now this is strange. h5 is best, but Alireza throws away his advantage here by playing bishop takes on f5, giving up that amazing bishop, shattering the pawns, yes, achieving this, yes. He must have thought it was killing, ripping open the king, opening this bishop, etc. But actually, the rook can take, queen d6, and where's the killer blow? You can take on f7, but bishop recaptures, so what? Alireza hops with the knight, intensifying the pressure, but Hikaru just takes. We now see the ladies leave the board, and what to do? Sure, you're hitting two pieces here, rook and bishop, but after this rook d2, the counterplay is on. You can bring the rook down here, but it doesn't actually lead to a material tactical win. So instead we see bishop d4, now bishop d7 hits the defender of that bishop, so bishop e3, the rook under fire, saving itself. Epic commentary as always here on Epic Parmesan. Do consider subscribing if you haven't yet done so. You're far more likely to become a grandmaster within weeks. Results may vary. Now we see the knight take on f8, king recaptures, a6 played, and this is the moment that Hikaru plays the absolutely catastrophic pawn to b6. He should have just taken on a6 here, played the opposite colour bishop's endgame. But this one's really bad because the cannon invades on the 7th and you're getting absolutely kebabbed. That bishop is hit, it takes on b5, this pawn now drops, the rook slides here, and this is what Hikaru envisioned. Bishop takes. Now this, absolutely drawn position, right? Just dead level opposite colour bishops. But you don't have to take immediately. Instead we see a check, driving the king forward and pawn a7. That one is saved. Hikaru tries to desperately hold on to his, but this is the icing on the cake. The powerful chess from Alireza. He takes on b6. Excellent move, because if rook recaptures, not played, then at first I thought the move was rook f8 check, then you make the queen, although apparently black's got really good fortress ideas, but even stronger is rook c8 or rook b8, because you're threatening to make the queen, black's got to stop it with the rook, now you win an exchange, and this should be a technically won endgame. That's the way you would have gone if rook recaptures. So instead we see bishop c6, hits the cannon in the corner, it saves itself, hits that bishop, bishop d5, the best way to fight for a draw here, but Hikaru takes on b6, allowing Alireza to take here. If rook captures, you make the queen, so instead we see check, king h2, the rook comes behind, but rook c7 check. It's deadly. We're gonna see why. The king marches in, even abandons that pawn because you can't take it or the queen is made. The rook here is glued to the a file. This is the big problem. So when the white king marches all the way over, reaches it, attacks it, you can't come to d4 or e4, keep the king cut from marching in here, whoops, or else then this pawn promotes. So that's why Hikaru has to jump to a1, stay behind the pawn, but now f3, these ones get liquidated, the king marches in, the rook cuts the black king, and finally the white monarch begins its final march, reaches b5 here, and Hikaru resigns the game with one of the limpest handshakes you've ever seen in chess history, has to be said. Excellent win from Alireza. He's catapulted to the top after a great day here. Rapid play to come tomorrow, then we're on to the Blitz chess. I hope you enjoyed. For another exceptional game of chess, check out the video on screen, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.